Hello, and welcome to the Tech Talk hosted by us along with AWS. Our topic for today is AI powered data extraction for financial services industry. My name is Mary Copsey. Our agenda today is an introduction to IDXL, aid framework capabilities, how we design customer centric AI, and what are the various industry challenges. And to give you an overview, IDXL is a professional services and technology solutions provider headquartered in Herndon, Virginia, with over 20 years of experience in implementing complex technologies. We are an AWS advanced consulting partner specializing in artificial intelligence, machine learning, data, and cloud services, and we provide solutions to both commercial and public sector customers. We have over 100 AWS certified professionals and achieved various competencies in the AWS ecosystem. We are proud of what we have achieved so far and continue to add these competencies on a yearly basis. And to mention some of the important competencies, IDXL is an advanced AWS partner and AWS reseller. We achieved AWS competencies in migration, DevOps, financial services, and expecting two more by the end of this year. We recently obtained consulting partner status for AWS Redshift. We are also recognized as a public sector partner with authorization to resell and service the AWS GovCloud. We are also preferred partner for the Well-Architected Framework Program and Immersion Day partner. IDXL is focused on supporting AWS Cloud, and we are one of the preferred partner for AWS Well-Architected Framework. We specialize in four core service areas with extensive expertise in cloud services, cloud native services, data platforms and intelligence, automation, and AI. We provide the solutions to both commercial and public sector customers. So now let's get to know our speaker a bit. So Viswanath is IDEXL's principal data scientist leading the AI and automation practice. He'll be leading the presentation from here on. But before we actually get started with a tech talk, we'll set up a few polls for you to answer. So you should see the first one coming up on your screen. And we'll give it about a minute or so for everyone to review and respond. Great. Thank you all for participating. And as a follow-up to the first question, we'll give it about a minute or so for you to answer the second question. So if you answered yes on the first question, please mention the tool for data extraction. We'll give it a few more seconds for everybody to respond. Okay, great. Thank you so much for participating in that poll. I will now turn you over to our speaker. Viswanath, please go ahead.
Thank you so much. So glad to have you all. I think we'll go through the next 20-25 minutes on why we have built Aid, and I think as mentioned in the agenda, we'll also look at some customer use cases. So to begin with, just want to quote this important point that I've always that I always would like to remember, and we kind of use it as a baseline for us to work on this data extraction solution. According to projections from IDC, it was projected that 80% of the world's data will be unstructured by 2025. There are several variations that are observed in this data, like forms, text-based documents, handwritten documents, scanned documents, tax forms, free-fill forms, semi-structured application forms. We also have checks and deposit forms, of course, legal and contractual documents, and many more, right? Now, with all the varieties and variations in the unstructured document, we cannot approach these with the traditional OCR. And all these varieties of document are something that we see day in and day out in banking and financial services industry, right? If you approach this using a traditional OCR, it's going to be extremely expensive and time consuming for your organization. This starts this is our fundamental need for us to build a smart end-to-end data extraction solution. And we discussed this particular challenge with several customers, and we try to understand their issues. We looked at their existing data extraction solution and identified opportunities for improvement across the board. The top challenges that were reported by them are, number one, data extraction solution was not tailored to their needs, and they were additional bells and whistles that were added to the COTS tool that they bought, right? We looked at their, I think the second one is solutions was template driven, and it requires manually defining the extraction limit in specific text fields. There are different ways in which we can define it, that are available in some of the tools that are available in the market. You can manually identify the text region and indicating that as a value, and correspondingly you can also identify the key for it, right? The next problem that we also saw was it cannot adapt for even the slightest variation in the template if there's a change in template. Okay, and it was unable to, most importantly, it was unable to classify the input document category, which is probably some of the important which is a very important thing that we need to do even before going towards extraction. And automation component to handle the movement of files between locations or between applications had to be purchased as a separate component altogether. Now, besides all this, the biggest pain point that the customer with whom we discussed had was there was no validation mechanism in place to ensure that the extraction that was done is appropriate. Beyond all this, it cannot understand printed text. It only had a capability of reading information from printed text. It cannot understand the handwritten text at all. I mean, these were all like some of the pressing issues that we understood from our customers, and with this, we believe we wanted to build an end-to-end data extraction solution, and that is Aid. So Aid, which is a solution framework that we're going to discuss about, is built on top of Amazon TextRact. It has the following properties. It is fully customizable. We can customize Aid and provide a customer only those components that are specifically required. We don't add anything on top of it unless it's warranted by you. The second important thing is it can handle any type of document, may it be PDF, text-based PDF, or scan-based PDF, or even scan-based images. And of course, JPEG, PNG, like these are the most popular image formats that we get. We'd be able to handle any of them. And documents that have either the input in the form of a printed text or handwritten text can be handled. It is a template-free extraction solution that we have. It does not require an input template to be defined prior, and the input document type are also automatically classified when necessary with a very high accuracy. Um, since our solution is built on top of Amazon TechStract, it has a which has a whole lot of AI stack, and beyond that, our solution framework also uses technologies like computer vision, natural language processing to do the pre-processing and post-processing, which we'll discuss a little bit in a bit later. Since the solution framework is also built on top of Amazon TechStract, it meets the regulatory compliance standards like ISO, PCI, and SOC, and so on and so forth. We ensure that our solutions are go via a human in the loop, so we can flag some of these conversions to a human review based on a particular threshold, or we could completely do it in random, to bypass some of these extractions over to a human review as and when it's required. And most importantly, apart from the initial setup cost that is required, you end up only paying only for the necessary resources that you utilize, as part of your monthly charges. So it's completely flexible. I think we'll talk more about it. Before that, we'll have a quick poll. Over to you, Mary.
Thank you. So we will launch the next question now. So for this question, can aid capabilities mentioned in the previous slide solve your organization data extraction problem? So we'll give you a minute or so to review and respond. Okay, we are seeing some responses coming in. We'll give everyone a few more seconds to ponder on the question, can aid capabilities mentioned in the previous slide solve your organization data extraction problem? All right, great. Thank you all for participating. Back to you, Viswa.
Thank you so much. Okay, so this is something. This is a very important quote for us, which was from Jeff B. No other than Jeff B. And this kind of resonates so well with what we do every day and how we build our practice at IDXL. As it clearly says, you must be customer obsessed in addressing their core issues by inventing new solutions. For us, what we believe, this is the right way to innovate in business. There is a purpose in this innovation and address immediate market needs. And in parallel, we're also building our unique customer success story to expand our practice in new areas. We have an ongoing customer requirements that we are aggressively trying to solve using the different AI technologies along with Amazon TechStract. We're also building this framework, the AID framework, using these AWS skills to solve huge gap in financial service industry based on inputs from our customers, and sometimes we also understand the pulse of the market by going through market reports and things like that. There are also other solutions that we have in our pipeline, which we are trying to closely work with our customers, and we are adding on top of our existing solution framework. So please keep a watch on it, and please let us know when you would like to have a conversation with us if you believe we are resonating what you're thinking through. So we'll move on to our next slide, where we want to discuss how we approach the customer-centric AI solution that we are trying to build. So before that, I just want to pick up an interesting quote from a recent report that is published by Forrester.com in 2020. Empowered customers, it says empowered customers are transforming their relationships with banks and changing the industry's competitive landscape in the process. To avoid irrelevance, banks must embrace the future of banking, which will be invisible, connected, insights driven, and purposeful institutions. I mean, that's like put so nicely, on how the transformation is how digital transformation is affecting banks, and how it's going to in fact affect banks at a very high level. So as we all know, COVID-19 has just triggered this digital transformation acceleration to move at a little faster pace, and the landscape of banking is changing so fast, which is led by several different innovations using AI and automation. And our expertise so far has been in the space, focusing on overcoming document processing challenges with financial institutions. So financial statements, tax forms, these are some of the most important banks to fast track the loan tracking process. Uh, uh, you know, um, from weeks to days, reducing. Besides it also helps us to reduce the cost of issuing a loan and improving customer experience overall. Here are some of the spaces which we are focusing and building our solutions. Let's go through one of them, one after the other. Digitizing handwritten text, capturing information available in handwritten text is quite essential. We believe there are still some forms which are used in the banks which are handwritten, and manually entering them into a system is kind of a time consuming activity. Using aid, one of our customers is transforming this in seconds, where they just scan the document, aid system reads through and converts the information, and connects with the target system, and puts the information in the target system as it is required. The next one is triaging and summarizing information from documents. There are several instances where we have noticed in banks where the information should reach the appropriate representative faster. Our document classification solution can classify the document and send it to the appropriate, bank member faster. Uh, Besides this, our summarization solution can also create a summary of the content and provide a gist of the information for quicker human review. One particular information that we can think of, something that we have done in the recent past, is summarization of bank statements. Identifying and extracting information from tables is also something very critical, because tables come in several forms, and our solution can help extract information from tables with or without boundaries, tables embedded within text, tables which are in any form and shape. But identifying and extracting information from table is only the beginning. Let's say for a financial, in case of a financial statement where the information is represented as a table, we would be able to extract information and map them into a standard template. I'm talking about the individual accounts in the financial statement. And further, we would be able to use those the mapped values to calculate ratios, which are eventually used in credit decisioning process. So that's like the entire pipeline being automated using aid. Searching for specific clauses in contracts and leases is another important area. So I just discussed that we can extract information from plain text document where the information is presented as a stream of text. That's another variety of extraction. Specifically, contracts and lease documents are good examples. Within these documents, we can search for a specific clause and extract the surrounding text around the clause. This saves huge amount of time when there are hundreds of documents to be processed. Besides this, there are instances where there are key value pairs that are embedded within the stream of text, and our aid solution would also be able to identify the key value pair and extract things much faster than a human can do. The next piece, which is very important for us, we treat privacy with utmost priority when we are dealing with customers in the banking and financial services. I believe you all agree with that. And redacting sensitive information in documents like forms is essential for financial institutions, since forms usually have some piece of information which are required to be seen only for some specific members in the bank. Forms and other documents are usually moved between different departments, within a financial institution, and they kind of contain personally identifiable information within these documents. And it is, with this solution, we will be able to redact or perhaps even mask the document with a pseudo as and when it is required. So I think these are all some of the use cases that we are solving as of now. But yeah, we have a lot more to discuss. Considering the limited time, we've just put together some of them. If this is something that if this is one of them that you have in your company, we'll be more than glad to discuss with you. We'll quickly move on to a quick demo, keeping the best interest in time. I'll just walk you through a few components in our aid framework. So this is the starting page of our aid framework. I click on continue. I select extraction. I am going to start off with form extraction. The input here is an image. I choose forms. I click on submit. Let me quickly go to my desktop to show you the sample. Our extraction sample is like this. It's a simple W2 where information is available as a key value pair. Throughout the form, information is scattered. Some are available, some are not available. So we pass it to aid, and aid simply extracts the input in a key value pair. So now this input can be completely customized as per your need as to how you would want it in the output, and we can do it. We can do it in a SAM. So I'll quickly move on to the next type of extraction, which is plain text. I'll show an example of plain text extraction. I'm going to click on open plain text and submit. Uh, let's go ahead and take a quick look at this input sample. So this here is a snippet this is a snippet that we have grabbed. So if you see here, there are personally identifiable information that is available. So our NER capability will be able to identify the specific text, and it can tag whether it is a person or a geographical location, or if it's a number, so on and so forth. But yeah, we have advanced the NER to specifically identify whether it is a name, address, phone, or so on and so forth. Of course, we have other components, which is sentiment analysis and language that we have added on top of it. So language, TechStack supports a good set of languages to begin with, and it keeps adding more languages as we move further. So since our solution is built on top of TechStack, those are also supported in aid. I'll then move on to show an example of table extraction. I'll quickly take the simple table extraction here as an example. I'm selecting a table here. I'm clicking on submit, and the input table here is a table that is hidden within text. So aid can understand it absolutely without any issue and pick that particular section of the text and give you the output. I just have one last form which I want to show as part of redaction. I'm going to choose the file. And in this case, I'm going to take an example of a handwritten form. I'm going to send it over to my email. This is a form. I'm going to click on submit. And let's quickly go to the form here. So the input is a PDF file which has got handwritten text. It's a scanned image. So let's say I want my output in the form of PDF, and I just want to specifically redact the recipient's name and the street address to be redacted. So I choose the options and I click on submit. I'll instantly get my result here in the output. Click on home. The output is available here. If I just click a preview of the output, you'd be able to see how the information is redacted. So this can be done. Each of the solutions that I just replicated to you can be done for hundreds of documents together. And our solution architecture is really straightforward. I mean, if required, we let the users to upload via UI, or we kind of take it from a specific S3 bucket. And we also can put the output in an S3 bucket, or we can deliver it over an email. So we have a custom pre-processing and a custom post-processing layer that we have added on top of Amazon Tech Stack. And we also have an A2I. The whole system has an A2I system where we can specifically divert some of these, process document based on a output threshold, or the quality threshold for a human review, or we would be able to, pick samples on random and send it for human review. And eventually the entire solution can be built as a microservice, where it can connect to the host application using an API, or I mean, it can be a standalone application as well. So I think that's what we had for you today. We'll quickly go to our final poll, and then we'll take some time for question answers.
All right, I'll go ahead and launch the next question. So we'll give everyone a minute or so to review and respond to the question. Can you relate the problem in your organization to use the case discussed? And if you have any questions for Viswana, the Q&A tool is at the bottom. Just type in your question and send submit, or click on submit or press enter, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. Okay, just giving everyone a few more seconds. Great, thank you all for participating. So we are now open to any questions that you might have for that amazing presentation.
I'm unable to click on Q&A, Mary. If you get any questions, please let me know, and I'm happy to answer that. I think we'll switch to video too.
Yep. Okay, so far we have not received any questions yet.
Okay.
So for our attendees, feel free to put in your questions in the Q&A pod or the Q&A tool at the bottom. Okay, it looks like we did not receive any question for this session. But Viswa, any last words for our attendees?
No, thank you so much for joining us today. In case you would want to know more about AID, I request you to please go to idxl.com/aid, and please feel free to reach out to us at any point of time. So we're all ears to listen to you.
Awesome. All right, so everybody, that concludes our Tech Talk today, and thank you very much for attending. Have a good day.